My name is Pastor Greg Baker, and I want to talk to you about the book I wrote, Revelation Revealed. The book of Revelation, without a doubt, is perhaps one of the most confusing and most abused book of the Bible. Everybody's got their opinion on it, and there's no way that any single opinion, including mine, is all-encompassing. In fact, I didn't want to write a book that outlined every single detail of the book of Revelation. Instead, what I wanted to do was I wanted to get back to the simplicity that I believe the book of Revelation contained. What I found is that we tend to make the book way too complicated. God did not mean for us to have all of this various opinions, I believe. I don't think God meant for the strife, oftentimes even turmoil, and many times the confusion that is wrapped around the book of Revelation. Revelation was not meant to be a complicated book, but I found that we have made it complicated. In fact, I found we made it more complicated than it needs to be. In studying Revelation, I discovered that much of what I had been taught didn't seem to make sense. We always believe that the Bible should be studied line upon line and precept upon precept. Here little, there little. We don't believe that we should take Scripture out of context. We don't believe we should interpret or place our opinion on the Scripture. In fact, I'm a big believer that Scripture should interpret itself. But what I found is that we have taken this area of Scripture in the book of Revelation, and we have made it so complicated. And just go to your local bookstore. You will see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books on Revelation. Mine won't be there. I'm not selling in the bookstores, but it is just one among many. There are many books on Revelation. This book is designed to get back to the simplicity, to level the playing field, if you will, to get things back to where you're not confused, where it makes sense. It's line upon line, precept upon precept. So what I did is I threw everything out that I've been taught. I said, God, I don't know a thing about this. I don't know anything. In fact, I made sure I even understood what the words meant. We throw the word, for example, like the word tribulation. We throw that word around as if it is something that we understand. We always associate the word tribulation with the 7 years mentioned in the book of Revelation. And we talk about the Great Tribulation, and there shall be no tribulation like this. This is the Great Tribulation. We talk about it like we know exactly what it is. Well, I wasn't sure. I decided to go back and look at the scriptural definitions. I looked at every single reference in the Bible. What I discovered was, in my opinion, we are looking at the word tribulation wrong. That what God meant the word tribulation to mean and what we have changed it to be has caused most of the confusion in the book of Revelation. In fact, there are three basic positions regarding the rapture. You have what they call a pre-tribulation rapture, a mid-tribulation rapture, and a post-tribulation rapture. But these three positions all focus around the concept of what they understand the word tribulation to be. I'm neither of those. I'm none of those. I'm not even a preterist. A preterist, of course, is somebody who believes that all the book of Revelation has already occurred and is symbolic to history. I don't believe that. I believe much of Revelation is yet to happen. And I believe with all my heart that I'm not any of these particular things. I'm not a pre-tribulationist, though I do believe, however, this is something I need to say here, I suppose, that the rapture does occur before the 7 years that the Bible does talk about. But I do not think that 7 years should be called the tribulation period. I think it's inaccurate. In fact, 5 times in the book of Revelation, the word tribulation appears. In all 5 cases, they are in reference directly to Christians or the church. So I had to restructure my thinking. When I got my brain wrapped around this, when I realized that the word tribulation meant something other than what we tend to think it was, it allowed me to see the book of Revelation in a way that is explained in the book that I wrote. The book is designed simply to make things clear to you, to make it simple, to make it understandable, to put the simplicity and the clarity back in your scripture reading. I believe after you're reading this book that I wrote, you'll be able to read the book of Revelation. You can toss mine after you're done reading it, but you can read the book of Revelation with an insight to realize that it is not complicated. It is not meant to confuse you. There's no fear to the believer. Maybe a great deal of fear for the unbeliever, but no fear to the believer. And that it does make sense with just a few basic restructuring of some terminology that we tend to confuse. You will find that the book of Revelation is not a complicated book, and it's a very simple book to understand. I taught this in my own church, and But in doing so, I've had dozens and dozens of comments of people saying, well, now I understand Revelation. Now Revelation makes sense to me. You may disagree with what I wrote. That's okay. But I believe that this book that we call the Bible and the book of Revelation that God gave us is not as complicated as we think it is. The book I wrote, Revelation Revealed, is an attempt to demonstrate the clarity and the fluidity and the simplicity of the book of Revelation.